G'day guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I've got the 3 Tony's Literati Challenge trees back on the bench. It hasn't been very long since I've had these on the bench before. Might be 3 or 4 months, don't quote me on that. I will put it up there how long it's been. But I have some issues that I need to address. If I don't, these trees are just going to get out of control and they'll be no good. So first of all, and honestly, the trouble with, well, 2 of these trees need work. One's sort of fine for now. It's all apical dominance is the issues that we have. If you have a look at this particular one, the Melaleuca, the initial styling was this trunk that runs up here, does a bit of a loop. It didn't always hang down like that, but because I did it with the bandage, that's how it went when I unwired it. As you can see, it's all still alive. The foliage is there, but it's very unhealthy looking. And that's because this stuff is all just taken over. It's all lush green growth, all nice and soft. And this stuff's just old and wiry and really doing nothing. And this is what tends to happen with our trees. Once they decide like to prioritize, say, this branch here, it'll just send the bulk of its energy up there and this thing will just take off and this gets nothing. It just gets neglected. So if I want this to survive, I need to get rid of all this. Or at the very least, if I want to keep some of this, I need to just keep it pruned back and just keep pushing back so that some of that energy from this tree has to go up to here in order for it to survive. Now I don't like how this is hanging down, so I'm going to rewire it. I might extend it up a little, I think, and something like that. So we've got a nice gentle bit of movement, a little bit more up there, and then I will work on a foliage pad up top, and that will pretty much be the tree. So initially, basically we've got to strip all this other growth off, wire it into position, and then that one will be right to go back out on the bench. And then we'll attack the second one, which is in much the same boat. Although I may end up keeping some of its out of control growth, not sure. But anyway, I will snip all of this off because I do not want any of it. Right, so we have trimmed everything that we need to off of that. I'm going to leave all this old growth up here, and I would envisage that over the next couple of weeks that will all strengthen up again. We'll see new growth, but I need to be diligent, and any new growth that comes along the trunk, I need to take it off. As soon as it appears, I don't want it. I've already made that decision that I don't want to keep any of that growth. I want to prioritize the growth on the end. So I need to just be attentive and make sure I get that as it appears. I could probably get rid of that. Right, now.
Well, it's a lesson that we learn from the spinning of the earth.
It's probably not too bad there, I reckon. Something like that, I think. We'll have to rotate it around and find the exact right front. I don't mind it from that sort of an angle. And just try and thicken all that trunk up, and it'll get some nice textured bark. Being one of the paper bark family of trees, I think that'll get some nice textured bark, and we can just work on a foliage pad up top, and I think that will be our tree. So I'll put that back out on the bench. The next one that's being a little problematic is my peppermint gum. This was another one that went really floppy when we wired it up with the bandage and then unwired it. I'm not really happy with how it was wired. This branch here has taken off since we unbandaged and unwired it all. The main trunk comes around and around, and I'm not overly happy with it. To me, it looks very much like a corkscrew now, so I don't particularly like that. I don't mind this 90-degree bend, or almost 90-degree bend. It gives a little bit of angular movement to what is fairly smooth curves on the bottom section. I don't know if that's the right place for it. If I wanted to make use of that, I would probably cut this off here and lose the rest of this corkscrew bit and then try and work something from there. I'd probably have to wire that into shape a bit. But I am wondering if we just cut that vertical one off. We could use any one of these that's shooting up from the trunk to introduce that sharp 90-degree bend. So we can pick any of them, really, focus the growth into that. So I think, I don't know how far around do we come to select one if we're going to do that. Maybe one of these. Maybe one of these back here. Gives us that curve on the bottom and then a nice tight curve back here, and then it'll shoot up from there. I think I will go with that. So I'll cut that back to there and we'll have a look. Right, I think even if I kept this, I would cut it back to try and introduce some movement to it. So I'll do that now. Right, this bottom one. I may leave that for now. That can just grow off the base. That'll help thicken up the very base of the trunk. If it starts to become too dominant, I'll prune it back. I can't have it taken over the whole tree. I am only going to leave one of these shooting off. I don't know which one yet. I nearly reckon I might leave this strong one. Yeah, we'll do that. Righto, so that means that will go. Righto, it's back to looking like almost nothing again, which is just the way it is for a lot of our bonsai's life. We cut it back to make drastic changes. So we've retained that bend and a little bit of this bend, and now we're going to shoot off at 90 degrees. That branch is fairly set, so it should stay that way, and then some of this may curve up and we may get some shoots coming off here, which will be good, and then we'll work on the upper structure then. This one I'll leave. Maybe it'll help fatten up the base a little bit, but like I said, if it gets out of control, it will go as well. The last one is little Casuarina, and to me it doesn't actually look too bad. The trunk's got some pretty cool curves in it. It's got this one dominant one that's taken off up there, which at some point we need to either put some movement in or cut it back and use a side shoot. For now, I'd probably like to just leave this one as it is, let that grow. That will put as much thickness into the trunk as we can get and help remove some of these wire marks and stuff as well. So this one I'm actually going to leave. But anyway, that's where the 3 Tony's Literati Challenge trees are at. They're slowly coming along. They do need a lot of work yet. I think the Melaleuca will probably go into a pot next time. Once this all firms up, sets in place, I reckon I'll try and find a little pot for it, and I'll work on improving all this structure up the top. And that might make a nice little tree. I don't know if I don't have a lot of pots to choose from. I could go for a small round pot like that maybe. I don't know what colour flowers it gets, which makes it hard to choose a pot. But it will need to be a fairly small pot to look any good. I do have this one that wasn't actually, it's not actually a bonsai pot, it was some sort of bowl with all holes around the side, and I've drilled a couple of holes in the bottom. It may not look too bad, it is probably the upper size for a tree that size. You know, maybe a small pot like that may look okay for a tree like that. I probably don't mind that actually. That's probably at the top of the list, I think, at the moment. That's probably a little large. That would probably work too. It'd be good to see it in flower. I've never seen one of these in flower, so I don't know. I imagine it's probably going to be a white or a creamy coloured flower. A lot of the Melaleucas are. But yeah, we'll see. Anyway, that's it for now, and we'll come back when everything's set in place and there's some more growth to see, and we'll have another look at Tony's Literati Bonsai Challenge trees. So thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.